Jennifer Lopez just left Diddy, Mr. Baby Oil Man himself on Reed during the biggest scandal of his life. And he's not just mad, he's pissed. Because guess what? The trial is done. The verdict is in. And Diddy? Found guilty on 2 federal charges related to transporting women across state lines for, illegal activities. And now he's just stewing behind bars, reportedly waiting for his sentencing in October. And who was not there to defend him, support him, or even post a "Free my man, he's done nothing wrong"? That's right, J.Lo. Now word on the Hollywood curb is that Diddy feels totally betrayed by J.Lo. People close to him are saying he believes J.Lo used him back in the day, rode the wave of his fame, took the glow up, and then ditched him once her career went mainstream. And now that his empire is collapsing, not even a whisper from her. He's telling people he kept quiet out of respect for her image all these years. But now, he might be done protecting her. And if that switch flips, you better believe it won't just be a few spicy tweets. It'll be career-altering revelations. Like, imagine you're convicted in federal court, your world is falling apart, and the woman you once risked jail for during that nightclub shooting in '99 can't even be bothered to blink in your direction? Whew. But here's where things get messy. Allegedly, and I'm saying allegedly with a capital A, Diddy has receipts. Like real-deal screenshots, stories, maybe even footage from back in the day. And knowing Diddy and going by what he did in the past, he might just spill it all. And this isn't a random influencer trying to go viral. This is Diddy. He's strategic. He knows how to build an audience, stir up buzz, and drop a headline like it's hot. So if he wants to get even, it's not going to be subtle, it's going to be loud. Meanwhile, J.Lo is giving full diva energy, touring Europe, smiling for the cameras, showing up flawless at every appearance like nothing happened. She hasn't said a single word about him or the case. And listen, silence might be classy, but in situations like this, silence can be very loud. Because if Diddy starts talking, it won't be a comeback. It'll be a collapse. Because let's not forget, J.Lo's an empire, a billion-dollar brand. She's got skincare lines, streaming deals, a whole legacy to protect. Getting dragged into a scandal like this? So is J.Lo ignoring Diddy to protect her pristine image? Or is she hiding something way messier than we ever imagined? Stick around, cause we're just getting started. Alright, let's break down J.Lo's silence. Because sis has not said a word. Not in an interview, not on social media, not even in a shady lyric. She is out here moving like Diddy never existed. And that is calculated. Now some folks are calling it classy. She's staying out of it. She's taking the high road. Okay, sure, maybe. But don't let the glowy skin and perfect choreography fool you. J.Lo doesn't do anything without a strategy. Her silence? That's a chess move. Let's start with the obvious. She has everything to lose. J.Lo isn't just a pop star or an actress. She's a brand. A billion-dollar empire with endorsements, films, tours, skincare lines. You think she's about to throw all that in the blender over a man she broke up with 20+ years ago? Please. And let's not forget the timing. Her divorce from Ben Affleck just finalized. She's on tour looking like a goddess. And the headlines are finally about her outfits again, not her relationships. The last thing she needs is her name tangled in federal courtroom drama. Now there's another theory, and it's juicier. Some insiders think she's scared. Not like trembling in her heels scared, but like, what if he really does have something? A video, a voicemail, something that could bring heat her way. Because back in the day, they were everywhere together. She was in the clubs. She was around the crew. And there are things that might not look great in 2025. So maybe she's thinking, if I stay quiet, maybe he'll stay quiet too. But baby, silence only works when the other person agrees to it. And if Diddy feels burned, that gentleman's agreement might go right out the window. Another angle? She might be playing reputation rehab. Think about it. After Bennifer flopped again, she needs to be seen as strong, in control, and totally unbothered. Engaging with Diddy's mess would undo all of that. Her PR team is probably working overtime saying, don't tweet, don't comment, don't even blink in his direction. And so far, it's working. The mainstream media is avoiding linking her to this story. Most of her fans, barely aware. But the internet? Oh, we don't forget. Because here's the truth. Silence might be smart, or it might be suspicious. When someone is that silent about something this loud, people start filling in the blanks themselves. And the internet is not generous with its conclusions. So what's next? Does J.Lo keep ignoring the drama and hope it fades away? Or does she make a move, subtle or savage, to shut it down before Diddy starts talking? Let's take it all the way back to the moment this messy, scandal-filled romance even began. Before the betrayal, before the headlines, there was a love story. And not just any love story. We're talking J.Lo and Diddy, the original hip-hop meets Hollywood power couple. It all started in 1999. Jennifer was fresh off Selena, launching her music career. Diddy was at the peak of his bad boy empire. When they linked, it was fireworks. Glitz, glam, paparazzi couldn't get enough. J.Lo went from rising Latina sweetheart to the it girl of New York. And Diddy? He was everywhere with her. Red carpets, awards shows, music videos. They were inseparable. And let's not forget, this man styled her iconic Grammy look. Yes, that green Versace dress. That wasn't just fashion history, it was a cultural reset. Diddy was literally helping her shape her image, her brand, her superstardom. But it wasn't all luxury yachts and champagne. In December 1999, it all came crashing down. J.Lo and Diddy were at Club New York when a shooting broke out. 3 people were injured. Guns were allegedly tossed and smuggled into the club by J.Lo herself on Diddy's command. It was chaos. They were both arrested. Tabloid mayhem exploded. The mugshots, the headlines, it was scandal at its peak. Jennifer was terrified. She'd never been in trouble with the law, and suddenly she was facing charges that could have ended everything. Diddy's team worked overtime to distance her from the mess. And when prosecutors realized she had no part in it, they dropped charges. But the damage? Already done. Behind the scenes, the relationship was cracking. Rumors of Diddy cheating swirled. Drama piled up. And in February 2001, they broke up. J.Lo went on to marry Chris Judd. Then Mark Anthony. Then, well, you know the rest. Diddy kept building his empire, but he never stopped referencing their romance in interviews. Even years later, he'd drop little compliments. Say she was the hottest woman alive. Post a #TBT here, a flirty comment there. He always kept one eye on her. And here's where it gets really interesting. In the years after their split, neither of them ever truly dragged the other publicly. They didn't feud. They didn't diss each other in songs. Which made their silence powerful, respectful. But now, that silence is cracking. When the allegations hit Diddy in 2024, J.Lo stayed quiet. Too quiet. And Diddy? He noticed. For a man who spent 20 years low-key celebrating her, even when she married other people, that silence stung. So when you ask why he might feel betrayed now, remember, this wasn't just some fling. This was ride or die. Mugshot on the front page type of love. She stood by him during his mess. And now that he's facing serious charges, she's vanished. That's why the timeline matters. Because this wasn't just a moment, it was a whole era in both their lives. And maybe, just maybe, that era isn't over. Not emotionally, not reputationally, and certainly not in the court of public opinion. Now with all that history, you can see why this isn't just gossip. It's personal. Deep personal. So let's talk about what Diddy might be cooking up now that the tables have turned and the world's watching him from a whole new angle. Word inside the industry is that Diddy feels humiliated. Not just by the verdict, but by who stayed silent. And he's reportedly not taking it well. Not because of the charges. He knew what was coming. But because people he once defended are now treating him like he doesn't exist. Jennifer included. And here's what makes it messy. Sources say he's been reaching out to old contacts. Producers, journalists, people who owe him favors. It's not just about telling his side. He allegedly wants to control the narrative. Frame himself as the betrayed one. Paint Jennifer as someone who turned her back to save herself. And you know what's wild? Some people believe him. There are folks in the music industry who've always thought J.Lo came out of their relationship with all the glow, while Diddy took all the heat. The arrests, the scandals, the stress. She walked away with a career boost. He walked away with a legal team. So now, it's his turn. There's talk he might release a tell-all interview, maybe even a book. One of those raw, unfiltered redemptions. Or worse, he could go the podcast route, drop a limited series, get messy with it, air the past, share behind-the-scenes dirt from the relationship no one knew existed, things that were never meant to leave the penthouse. And here's where it gets chilling. Insiders claim he's sitting on old footage. Not scandalous in a criminal way, but the kind of stuff that, if edited right, could be weaponized. Arguments, parties, maybe even conversations J.Lo thought were private, nothing illegal. but enough to dent that polished, unbothered image she's curated so carefully. And whether or not he actually releases anything, the threat of it alone has people whispering, his name back in headlines, his face on timelines. Suddenly, it's not about his charges. It's about her silence, her past, her proximity to power. And let's be real, J.Lo's not just a celeb. She's an empire. One bad narrative, one explosive video, it could pull sponsorships, tank product lines, cancel appearances. She doesn't even need to be guilty of anything. She just needs to be associated. That's the part that's so dangerous. Diddy's not looking for money. He's got that. What he wants now? Attention, control, a little chaos. And if burning down a few bridges gets him that spotlight again, he just might do it. Especially if he feels like Jennifer Lopez left him out in the cold after he risked everything for her 2 decades ago. And let's not ignore the pressure from the outside world. Everyone's watching this unfold. People on social media are ready to believe the worst. That's what makes this so volatile. All it takes is one video, one quote, one headline, and public opinion turns fast. There's also buzz that other people from Diddy's past, ex-assistants, ex-friends, people who've been silent for years, might speak up too. Not because they want justice, but because they finally have leverage. And if they think Diddy's ready to spill tea on J.Lo, they'll jump in to ride the wave. So whether he's bluffing, planning, or already recording, J.Lo's team is watching closely. And everyone in the industry knows, if he talks, it's going to be loud. So now here we are, one of the most famous women in the world, and one of the most powerful men in music, locked in silence, history, and tension. J.Lo is dazzling crowds on tour, flipping her hair, kissing both men and women alike, acting like she's in her prime. And her biggest concern is which city has the best stage lighting. But behind the glam, the tension is thick. Because no matter how many gowns she twirls in that past with Diddy, it's following her. And Diddy? He's not just waiting on a sentencing. He's watching, calculating, surrounded by people who either want revenge, redemption, or relevance. And when you combine that with resentment, that's a cocktail for chaos. The world is watching Jennifer Lopez to see if she cracks, to see if she says anything. And that's what's so eerie about all of this. How quiet she is. No statements, no interviews, not even a denial. And for someone as media savvy as her, that's a choice. But here's what nobody's ready for. This could all still flip. Diddy could stay silent, he could change his mind. Or he could do something none of us expected. Drop one line, leak one photo, or even reach out to her directly. You think that's far-fetched? This is Hollywood, baby. Anything can happen. And the twist? The real twist? Maybe J.Lo didn't say anything because she knows how bad it could get. Maybe she's not scared of Diddy. She's scared of what people might believe if he says it first. But here's what I want to know, and I'm asking you. If Diddy drops the tea, would you believe him? Or would you stand by J.Lo? Because let's be real, the silence might be louder than any scandal. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading and replying to every single one. And don't forget, if you want the truth, the drama, and the receipts before they twist the narrative, hit that subscribe. Thank you for tuning in to Goja Gossip, and I'll catch you in the next spill.